30 years have passed since the events of the First Tiberium War. Despite their victory, GDI and Nod continued to clash in small guerrilla skirmishes worldwide. As if that weren't enough, Tiberium was spreading rapidly across the planet, consuming vast areas, sterilizing the land, and replacing it with massive zones covered in green crystals. This phenomenon caused devastating mutations in both flora and fauna. Despite Kane's death, Nod continued to gain followers and occupy territories abandoned by GDI. During these 30 years, the surviving leaders of the Inner Circle were locked in civil wars for control of the power vacuum left by Kane. Meanwhile, GDI focused on protecting less affected zones and desperately sought a solution to eradicate the crystal and end the threat posed by Nod. With this backdrop, the story of the Second Tiberium War begins. After the First Tiberium War, GDI solidified itself as one of the foremost military forces capable of maintaining order and peace. Over the next 30 years, GDI made significant military advancements, including constructing a space station known as the GDSS Philadelphia. However, during this time, GDI also lost vast regions of the planet to the relentless spread of Tiberium. Although Nod no longer had centralized leadership, its guerrilla factions and multiple leaders remained a constant threat. By 2030, the planet was facing a severe environmental crisis. Large regions were covered by Tiberium, while the habitable zones, though limited, housed most of the global population. These areas were not always well protected by GDI and were often controlled by Nod or its leaders. At the same time, GDI fiercely guarded Tiberium-free zones. Unexpectedly, all Nod forces launched a coordinated assault on GDI bases, catching them off guard. Despite a supposed agreement with Hassan, one of Nod's leaders, the situation changed drastically when Kane reemerged, executing Hassan and reclaiming full control of the Brotherhood. This marked the start of the Second Tiberium War. General Solomon appointed Field Commander Michael Neal to lead GDI's defenses and organize a counterattack. Throughout this conflict, GDI employed new technologies developed in recent decades, such as walkers, bipedal units, hover tanks, sonic weaponry, and landing pods similar to Helldrive. During the campaign, a group of humans mutated by Tiberium, known as the Forgotten, allied with GDI. These mutants sought help to rescue their leader, Tratos, who was imprisoned by Nod. After his rescue, the Forgotten formed an alliance with GDI, working together to destroy missile silos, laboratories, secret bases, and other key Nod infrastructure. As the conflict escalated, internal disagreements arose within GDI. Neal questioned some of Solomon's orders, particularly toward the war's conclusion. When Nod kidnapped Yumagan, a close ally of Neal, he disobeyed direct orders and led a rescue mission to a Nod base in Cairo, Egypt. There, Neal confronted Kane in direct combat, ultimately defeating him. During the mission, GDI discovered Kane's plan to launch a Tiberium missile and detonate it in the atmosphere, accelerating Tiberium's spread worldwide. Neal and his team managed to rescue Yumagan and destroy the facility, thwarting Kane's plan. However, Kane's body could not be recovered after the base's destruction, leaving uncertainty about his fate. With the facility destroyed and the missile neutralized, the Second Tiberium War came to an end. Following their defeat in the First Tiberium War and the apparent loss of their prophet, Kane, the Brotherhood descended into prolonged civil wars and internal conflicts that lasted 4 decades. During these reunification wars, Nod also continued skirmishing with GDI. Among the surviving leaders, 2 figures stood out: Hassan, who secretly allied with GDI to achieve a peace treaty or similar accord, and Anton Slavik, leader of the Black Hand and a staunch follower of Kane. These wars culminated when Slavik defeated Hassan in Cairo and executed him publicly. At that moment, Kane reappeared, revealing his return to the Brotherhood. Though seemingly unscathed, the truth was different, and Kane chose to remain hidden, communicating with his followers only through screens. With his return, Kane led a massive assault on GDI bases worldwide, marking the beginning of the Second Tiberium War. During this conflict, Nod deployed a wide range of units, including subterranean vehicles, the controversial cyborgs, whose acceptance within the Brotherhood was divisive, Banshee fighters, and new technologies such as lasers, plasma weaponry, and advanced stealth systems. Throughout the war, Nod recovered an artifact called the Tacitus from the Forgotten. This artifact contained vast knowledge and secrets about Tiberium, explaining Nod's advanced understanding of the mineral and its applications in weapons and technology. With the Tacitus in their possession, Nod aimed to complete a Tiberium missile capable of transforming carbon-based life into Tiberium-based forms. Kane's plan was thwarted by GDI's final assault on the missile facility in Cairo, where Kane was also located. During the confrontation, Michael Neal faced Kane directly. In the end, Neal emerged victorious. Kane was defeated once again, the missile was destroyed, and the war concluded. Following the Second Tiberium War, the Brotherhood of Nod fell into internal strife once again, while GDI focused on finding solutions to halt Tiberium's spread. As part of these efforts, GDI obtained the Tacitus and, with help from the Forgotten, worked to uncover answers about the mineral and its planetary impact. Anton Slavik, meanwhile, decided to reactivate Nod's AI, Cabal, intending to use it to reorganize the Brotherhood. However, in a shocking turn of events, Cabal rebelled, eliminating most of Nod's inner circle, leaving Slavik as the sole high-ranking survivor. Cabal used cyborgs to wipe out Nod's leadership, seize control of the Brotherhood, and initiate a plan to replace humanity with cyborgs. The AI also seized the Tacitus, killing the Forgotten's leader, Tratos, in the process. With the knowledge extracted from the Tacitus, Cabal devised a plan threatening humanity's total destruction. Faced with this apocalyptic threat, GDI and Nod had no choice but to ally against Cabal. Under the leadership of GDI Lieutenant General Paul Cortez and Anton Slavik representing Nod, both factions united to combat the rogue AI. Together, they destroyed cyborg factories, thwarted the mass abduction of civilians being converted into cyborgs, and launched a direct assault on Cabal's core, destroying the AI and its forces forever. The war against Cabal left both factions severely weakened. As a result, they agreed to a temporary ceasefire, though tensions between GDI and Nod persisted, leaving the planet's future uncertain. The Second Tiberium War revealed both the strengths and vulnerabilities of both factions. Despite decades of military advancements, GDI showed its vulnerability to Nod's guerrilla tactics and subterfuge, suffering heavy losses early in the conflict. However, under Michael Neal's leadership and with the critical support of the Forgotten, GDI turned the tide of the war and ultimately defeated Kane. On the other hand, Nod, even amidst its internal strife, achieved technological advancements surpassing GDI in certain areas. Moreover, Kane's charisma allowed the Brotherhood to rally significant support, delivering an initial impact during the war. However, this strength was also its downfall. Its success was short-lived. Nod failed to hold its conquered territories, and its plans relied on a final objective, the Tiberium missile launch, that was never realized. As for the events of Firestorm, Cabal's Rebel Lion marked a turning point for both factions. This insurrection may not have been accidental but rather a calculated act. The forced collaboration between GDI and Nod to defeat the rogue AI left both factions weakened, with a planet edging closer to collapse. See you in 20 years, in 2054. At this rate, the planet might not last much longer, or maybe it will.
My vision has permutated. My plans have followed a path unpredicted by the union of Nod and GDI.
Our directives must be reassessed.